Cocoan's perspective.
My feet fall lightly on the ground as I stalk through the undergrowth. I look up at the phasmid giraffe grazing on the treetops. Its body stands on 10 legs and is covered in thick armor. Its uppermost limbs, a pair of simple graspers with no fingers, protrude from just below its head, atop its long neck. It uses them to pull branches towards itself, to gorge on their leaves. It's large. It will form the basis of a feast for Kawek, if we can kill this thing. Taking care not to make any sudden movements, I lower my great bow in front of myself by its string, and hook it into the prongs on the ends of my lower appendages. I lean my upper body backwards, flat against the top of my abdomen, lower my back legs, straighten my front legs, and raise the bow upward to point to the animal's center of mass. I take my javelin, tipped with my grandmother's foot, and knock it to the bowstring. I hook one finger from each hand over the string, on either side of the projectile, and lock them. I brace my upper body to begin ratcheting back the bowstring, just the way I did last winter to kill that strange beast up north. I loose the bolt and it strikes the animal in the chest, punching straight through its armor and burying itself halfway up its shaft into the animal's flesh. The beast lets out a great whistling cry and turns to run. Curses! I missed its heart! My sisters spring from their hiding places and begin giving chase. We cannot let it escape with my javelin in it. We cannot let it die somewhere where the vermin might find it, might feast on it, and might steal yet another piece of precious thanatite from us. The quarry makes to flee, sisters. Do not let it, I exhort as I stow my great bow, withdraw my short bow, and give chase alongside them. Bursting from the forest, we pursue the great creature through the open field. My sisters held javelins into its side and pepper it with arrows as it runs, careful not to get too close, as even in its wounded state, a kick from one of its powerful legs could easily be deadly, or worse, crippling. Most bounce off of its armor, but a few manage to sink into gaps between the plates, and where they do, gouts of blue blood spring forth. Those pieces that fall are the responsibility of the porters to retrieve. Haruken has been relegated to that role since losing her back left foot on that vermin displacement the other week. A cursed shame. She was our nation's second best hunter, after myself. Now she just doesn't have the speed for it anymore. Not to mention, with the injuries to her abdomen, she shall likely never be a brood wife. If I catch that filthy vermin girl, I will make sure to kill her slowly and painfully for what she did to my sister and best lieutenant. The combination of blood loss and the fact that animals just can't run like people can cause our prey to tire. It stops and wheels about as we surround it, cutting off its escape. It cries out in clear pain. My heart aches for my failure to kill it quickly. After some time of it trying in vain to fight us off, the quarry collapses. I am forced to leap sideways to avoid its long neck coming down on top of me. My sisters are clearly eager to begin the butchering, but hold themselves back while I walk forward to its chest. I grasp my javelin with both hands and brace the flats of my front 4 feet against its body, so as not to unnecessarily pierce it. I yank my weapon free and hold it aloft, slick with the creature's blood. I roar in triumph. My sisters join their voices to mine. They surge forward to begin dismembering the kill. I don't bother telling them to leave nothing behind. Even if there weren't the possibility of vermin in the area, they would still know to not invite scavengers into our territory by leaving them any unearned meals. I walk from the kill to Harkin, catching up at the head of the porters, her incomplete back left leg bound to the one behind it with silk. Deferently, she hands me a stack of recovered arrows, tipped with thanatite. Not breaking decorum by showing pity for her condition, I take them and pull one free. I bring the silk threads that bind the fleshing to my nose and sniff. "Corks," I proclaim, before bringing the next one to my nose. Gars. I continue to sort the arrows I'm offered for some time. After the butchering is finished, we will return all of the sorted thanatite to their owners, to be counted. Hopefully nothing is missing, and we don't need to retrace the course to search.
Griv's perspective.
What the hell are those things? I whisper to Vig, from where we hide in the ferns on one side of a pass through the hills. Don't know, don't care, not monsters, don't matter, responds the crouching, hooded, masked woman with the blood metal foot dagger hanging at the waist. How can you say that, Vig? I ask, pointing at the beings walking down the pass. Those guys are people. Look at them. They wear clothes. They carry tools. They're people. But they're neither folk nor monsters. The mysterious people walking down the pass stand on 2 feet like folk, but weird. The feet are long and flat, and the legs don't have enough joints. The strange beings are walking on ankle joints. Gross! They're much taller than folk, closer to the height of monsters. The clothes they wear and tools they wield look considerably nicer than either folk or monster craftsmanship would allow. Large pieces of metal, in colors I've never seen metal be, are visible all over them. Several of them wear metal-like clothes. A tall, pink-skinned one with coppery hair has a strangely designed sheath knife on him, with a blade as long as I am tall. A woman with gold hair and wearing bronze on the legs and chest has a different one, 2/3 that long again. There isn't a tail among them. The 2 hands they have are 5-finger-like folk hands, but they aren't clawed, except one of them who has claws but 4 hands with 4 fingers each. The skin and hair I can see through the alien clothes are strange colors. Not the green of folk skin, nor the black and red of monster. Instead, pink, brown, blue skin and white, yellow, red, orange and black hair. We should go and introduce ourselves to them, I say, making to stand. A hand grasps me by the shoulder and pushes me back to crouched. I turn to look at Vig. She wears an angry expression. Grief, any moment now, the hunting monsters that destroyed the worksite and killed Pod are going to be coming through this way. If we announce ourselves to them, we risk blowing the whole ambush. For all we know, they're friends with the monsters. If they don't attack us when the battle starts, and we can find them afterwards, then we can talk to them and see what they're about. Not before. Hopefully they hate the monsters as much as we do, she hisses. I turn to look forlornly at the strangers. Yes, strangers is a good name for them. Then I tighten a hand around the spear I hold, made from a monster arrow. Vig's right. Now isn't the time to be making friends. We have an ambush to spring and a battle to fight. More than 400 fighters lie hidden in the bushes for this ambush, most of them not of our village. The loss of the hunting party will be a huge blow to the monster city, not to mention all the folk will be able to arm with all the blood metal we take. Can't blow this to talk to the strangers. There are only a few of them, so no matter the size they are or the quality of the tools they have, they probably won't make much of a difference to this battle if they join in. If they aren't friends of the monsters, they'll probably all be dead before we can help them. Though, it has just occurred to me that they walk without fear, out in the open. Do they not realize how vulnerable they are to attack? Or could it be? That thought is interrupted by the monsters appearing at the far end of the gulch. Guts swoop inside me at the sight. They stop, looking at the strangers. They seem as uncertain about them as we are. The strangers seem excited, happy even. Well, some of them do. Some of them look very uncomfortable at the sight. A small one with long, straight black hair with a silver streak in it raises a hand and shouts in a language I don't know that sounds nothing like monster speak. Watashi ashi wa koko ni imasu. Kochi ne kate kudadasai.